Welcome! In this chapter, we will be tackling the customs of the Tagalogs by Juan de Plansencia. Juan de Plasencia is a Spanish friar of the Franciscan order. He came to the Philippines with the first batch of Franciscan missionaries in 1577. He is also the author of the first religious book called Doctrina Christiana. He wrote the book as a product of his own judgments and observations. Being part of the events that happened, he was there to witness them at first hand. He functioned as the defender of the rights of the native Filipinos. He also wrote the document because he was tasked by the King of Spain to document the traditions and customs of the colonized natives. This is because of the practice that colonizers used at the age of discovery to enhance superiority over the colonized natives and to prove their so-called duties and legacies to the world. The document was written in 1589, wherein it tackled the practice and traditions of the Tagalogs during the Spanish period. At that time, the Filipinos were governed by a chieftain called the Datu. Each population of Filipinos were called barangays, and each barangay has one Datu governing them. The people were categorized by their social standing: the maharlikas or nobles, aliping na mamahay or commoners, and aliping sa gigiler as the slaves. The maharlikas were the highest among the social classes. They don't pay taxes or give tributes to the Datu. They are required to help the Datu in times of war. The maharlikas were obliged to pay 100 grams of rice to the Datu, because if a new Datu occupied the lands, this will be their way of payment in exchange for their highest place in the social class. If a maharlika married a commoner or a slave, the children will be divided. The first, third, fifth, and so on will go to the father, and the second, fourth, sixth will go to the mother, and so on. The aliping mamamahay were the commoners. They are free, and they have their own gold and wealth. They cannot be slaves nor sold. The aliping sagigiler were the slaves. They serve their masters in the house and can be sold to other masters. In religion, they believed in their so-called Badhala, in which they call as the all-powerful and maker of all things. But they also believe in the heavenly bodies such as the sun, moon, stars, etc. In burials, when a member of the barangay dies, if it's a datu, they will bury him under a porch and will be mourned for 4 days. If a warrior dies, a living slave will be tied underneath his body. If a commoner dies, they will be buried beside their houses. All of these events will be accompanied by drinking and eating. They also believe in the concept of afterlife, which they called maka. They also believed in witches, such as Hakloban, Mangkokolam, and Mangangaway. At this time, the main event that affected the Philippines was the Spanish colonization, which influenced us with some of their customs, such as Christianity and the formation of a government. The Philippines was portrayed as a community without a unified government. Each barangay was governed by a datu. Their religion was not just focused on one god alone, or their Bathala, but they believed in the existence of heavenly bodies as well. This made them pagan or animists. Here are some terms and concepts with their meanings that the natives used at this time. There has some been confusion between aliping namamahay and aliping sa gigilid. In some books, both were classified as slaves. But in Plasencia's book, aliping mamamahay was known as the commoners of the barangay. The aliping sa gigilir were regarded as the slaves. This text is credible and relevant because Plasencia himself was there to witness the events and customs that he wrote in this document. This document served as a basis of how the Filipino people were before.